respective rulers once they had accepted his sovereignty. Samudragupta defeated foreign invaders Han by stopping them from entering the borders of Bharat for as long as he lived and ruled. Yashodharma belonged to the Olikara dynasty of Malwa. When Bharat came under Hunna attack towards late 5th and early 6th century, Yashodharma defeated the invaders and their ruler Mihirakula, driving them out of Bharat. Lalitaditya was a Chakravarti king, known for his extensive conquests and extraordinary valor. He is accepted as the most powerful king of his dynasty.
We are about to begin in few minutes. Everyone, please take your seats.
He successfully defeated Arab, Turk and Tatar. During his reign, Rajendra Chola extended the influence of the Chola Empire across the Hind Mahasagar to the west, making the Chola Empire one of the most powerful empires of Bharat. His conquests included Maldives, Malaysia, southern Thailand and Indonesia in Southeast Asia. Krishnadev Rai is regarded as an icon and the greatest king of Vijayanagar Samrajya, who defeated Bijapur and Adil Shahi. Vijayanagar became the bulwark against Islamic expansion in southern Bharat. Rani Durgavati distinguished herself as a valiant warrior and fought with unwavering success against Baz Bahadur, the Sultan of Malwa, defending her kingdom.
Good evening, everyone. Please take your seats. I think many are still having their tea break. So after the first session, it was a beautiful session. Great speakers, great audience, and great question answers. So now, myself, Simi Sood, welcomes you here. Namaste and Sawadika. Good evening, everyone. I welcome you all in today's second session of Hindu Women Conference, contributing towards a sustainable economy. I would like to invite Chairperson of this session, Dr. Sujata Sheshadrinathan ji. Sujata ji, please come. Dr. Sujata ji is a founder and majority shareholder in Basiz Fund Services, a global leader in fund administration. She holds a doctorate in business administration, focusing on blockchain adoption, with over 25 years of work experience, and as a much respected and awarded entrepreneur, Dr. Sujata has led companies that are invested into startup, fund services, fund tech, and legal tech. She is also a professor for management courses, teacher training, entrepreneurship, and technology. Sujata ji, along with her husband Aditya Shesh ji, runs the Sujata Shesh Foundation, which is active in the space of education, healthcare, water conservation, and water empowerment. And women empowerment. So I welcome Sujata ji. And I would also like to invite our eminent speakers for this session, Srimati Akila Swaminathan ji. Akila ji is from Bharat. Priya Subbaraman ji from Bharat. And Nitika Sharma ji from New Zealand. So looking forward for a great second session today. Off to Sujata ji.
Good evening, everyone. Namaste, respected participants of the Women's Conference. On behalf of the organizing team, I, Dr. Sujata Sheshadrinathan, welcome you to this session on Hindu women in economic activities, with our focus being on contributing towards a sustainable economy. Sustainability in the Hindu context is very profound. The word Sanatana in Hindu Dharma itself means forever, perpetual, and sustaining. In Hindu Dharma, the divine feminine, as we all know, is worshipped as goddess Durga, she who bestows great courage and energies, as goddess Saraswati, who bestows knowledge and intellect, all empowered by the one and only goddess Lakshmi, of divine grace and prosperity. The most relevant prosperity and relevant grace that we need in today's time, Lakshmi Devi is the most relevant manifestation of goddess in our times. Without Lakshmi Devi, nothing is possible. And this is a position that Hindu women have started rightfully reclaiming today. The word Lakshmi means she who leads towards the Lakshya or towards one's goals. Also referred as Sri Devi, she bestows, now get the list, she bestows wealth, fortune, beauty, power, fertility, and prosperity. Anything left? Is that not verily the goal of any effort we make in life? The Devi Suktam celebrates Devi as the one who creates all matters and consciousness, the eternal and infinite. And this is the position Hindu women are accorded in our society. We are this in our society. I couldn't help also noticing how, in fact, most definition of entrepreneurship, which I teach and which I'm much awarded for and recognized for, it includes wealth creation, working towards one's goals, and prosperity. Each one of this is associated with the Devi or the Sri Rupa in our Vedas. There is considerable evidence right from the earliest Vedic period into the golden period of Indian history. In fact, right into almost forever, Bharat Hindu women have had an equal standing in the society and its functioning. Revered by the Vedas as such, history also records us as being so powerful. In all our history and all my reading of history, there is one episode that resonates very deeply with me. It comes from the third Parva or the Vana Parva of Mahabharata, section 231. Draupadi Satyabhama Samvad. Now this is one discussion that has been recorded by Veda Vyasar himself. It is not hearsay, not folklore, not added on later. Here, Satyabhama, who is not just the most beautiful of Krishna's wives, but also probably the most powerful, she is asking Draupadi exactly what do you do as a woman to keep your men, your 5 husbands in control? How is it that they are in your control? Draupadi's answers are a study in family and kingdom management, by the way. They have nothing to do with her being a woman. They are a study in family management. They are a study in how you should run a kingdom. Mostly, 2 statements that she makes, most importantly, they have always remained with me. One, I am reading this out, this is a verbatim translation. It was I alone amongst the Pandavas who knew the income and expenditure of the king and what their whole wealth was. Second, and while my husbands were engaged in the pursuit of virtue, I only supervised their treasury, inexhaustible, like the ever-filled receptacle of Varuna. This was recorded by a man, and he couldn't have recorded it if it really didn't happen. So this is what she was. She was not the enchantress wife of the 5 Pandavas. She was not just that. She was also additionally having a great stand in the finance and the economy of their kingdom, their huge big kingdom. We also have heard of Kundavai Devi, the sister of Rajaraja Chola, who is known to have been the administrative head of the Chola Empire. She was as powerful as her brother in the Chola Empire. Women ran houses. We held the key to all the properties, even today. We do have the Chavi Gucha, which we don't carry around now, but we held it, right? and we held the key to our family running. It was us who stepped into running the kingdoms when our men went to battle. The concepts of lower skill and comprehension of women in finance and economics, in my humble opinion, are alien to us. That is not us at all. After the dark ages of barbaric attacks when we were forced into gungats, into the houses, and into much else, foreign colonization did that to us. Resurgence of women in the fields of finance and economics worldwide is being led by the Hindu women. Can't we all think of many examples to this? We have all seen how we are there in the world level. We are as Indra Nui. We are there in so many governments in the world. We are there in the economics forums of the world. We are there everywhere where brains and efforts matter. Recently, one incident worldwide when we had the corona epidemic. Bharat sailed through the corona epidemic, mostly due to the Bharatiya woman. It is recorded, it is recognized, all our husbands doffed their hats to this woman who many times was just a housewife, but somehow managed to make puppets, pickles, supply lunches, did so many things. And how many crores of families survived on that? We did better than best of the developed nations because of the Bharatiya woman and her tenacity to face such problems. One thing, however, Bharat recently, under great leadership, has reached fourth position of 51 countries for the quality of entrepreneurship ecosystem. There is this GEM Entrepreneurship Monitor that has put us in fourth position for global entrepreneurship. However, there's a gap. The Women's Global Entrepreneurship Indexes, one of them places us 57th out of 65 nations. And the MasterCard Index, that is a MasterCard Index, and 70 among 77 countries of the Female Entrepreneurship Index. There's a huge gap there. So the gap between general entrepreneurship and female entrepreneurship is huge. I believe, and I have got a lot of other associated statistics which I can share with you later if you wish. It is not just in Bharat, it is not just among Hindu women. This is generic among all women worldwide. And why do I wish to place it here? I wish to place it here because I do believe Hindu women can greatly contribute to the world ecosystem, to the world economics by the lessons we have learned. Because by our very nature, and I always say this, we are economic, social, and governance compliant. ESG. Everybody has heard of this word? That is us. We are naturally ESG compliant. We have this word being spoken everywhere from the UN to the World Bank to being imposed on most companies worldwide today. We have to show ESG compliance in most of our activities. We have to be certified for this many times. And we Hindu women come compliant. For instance, just two points here. We are all economic units. Whoever is thinking I'm not an economic unit, please don't think like that ever, because how many of us save? We are given $1 lakh for shopping for an event. How many of us have overshot the lakh? Most of us have spent 80,000 and saved 20,000. Most of us save. Most of us are carbon footprint conscious. Most of the water in which we wash our vegetables goes to the plants. These are things that we learned from Hindu Dharma. We have learned the dharmic way of living. We are naturally trained in it. Therefore, when we come more into economics and enterprise, we bring these lessons along. This is where the world is going to benefit from our involvement in economic activities. And last one point here that we have to speak about, sustainability. Now, I am just going to read out the definition of sustainability, and it's up to you to understand why we women, Hindu women, are the best people to talk about this. Sustainability in the economic context, this I have taught in my lectures. refers to practices designed to create long-term economic development of a company, society, or nation, while also managing environmental, social, and cultural aspects of its activities. Each one of us, whether we earn or not, we are just this. We are sustainable by our nature. Therefore, who better than us Hindu women for sustainable economic growth and development? Sustainable economic development will happen when Lakshmi of the Hindu society surges forward to claim her rightful spot and work for it. We have now enough cases of business enterprises. In the previous session also someone was speaking about this. We have enough cases, I think Madam was speaking about it, Madam Arya was speaking about it, when she mentioned about rights of women to inherit. We have in the Indian Bharat society as well as worldwide, among Hindu-run enterprises, enterprises owned by Hindus, we have enough people who have taken over the enterprises where only sons were allowed to do so. You can think about the examples, Roshni Nadar, the Reddy sisters of Apollo hospitals, and very hearteningly, women-led enterprises have registered a great growth in the MSME sector. We women bring a lot of skills to fore. All of us work with career breaks. In my own organization, Basiz Fund Services, which I bootstrap, it's 19 years now, and it's a leading player in global fund administration and financial reporting space, rendering services in excess of $150 billion assets worldwide. We are gender neutral. 90% of our women managers managers, I'm not talking about employees, 90% of our women managers, 40% of our managers are women, and 90% of them are second innings employees, which means we gave them a chance to come back into economic activity after a career break. Today morning, in whoever attended Sir Sanchalak Maham Pujaji's address, Mohan Bhagwatji's address in the morning, he said two things which are very relevant to our session. Jaya is to bring everyone together. And second, bringing everyone together only we will win. Ayatanam means to reach out for growth. Now this is what our session is going to seek as an outcome. We are proposing an inclusive development for all. Therefore, we propose to reach out and integrate all of us for Jaya. For ethical business practices that we bring into the fore, we propose as an outcome to this session, the Hindu Women's Forum has met many times. This is the fourth time you said, Pritika ji, right, from 2012. So therefore, this time we propose to come out with an outcome of what we are calling the Hindu Women's Entrepreneurial Network. I request all of you to join it. The reason being, we are reaching out to come together so that our joint knowledge and experience helps build synergies towards greater good. We want to bring together professionals, entrepreneurs, people who are on a break from profession, and also the micro and the rural level people onto this platform so that we can all work together for greater good. We have two speakers for this session today. We have first Akila Swaminathan ji. Akila ji will be speaking to us about leadership and its role in our development and progress. Akila ji, she is herself an entrepreneur and a leadership trainer, a leadership coach, with focus on ethical leadership working primarily on young citizens. She is a computer engineer who went on to do an MBA from a premier institute in Bharat. Post a decade in corporate world, working across industries, she took a plunge into entrepreneurship, founding Core Inc., based out of Bangalore. Core operates in the space of entrepreneurial leadership, learning, and helps mentor startups. The second speaker for the evening is Priya Subbaraman ji, whom I'll be introducing as she rises up to speak. My request to everyone here is to stay back for the session and sign up for the HWEN platform that we are proposing. This would be the strong outcome and message that we are giving out to the world, that we are ready, we are coming to reclaim our spot, and that we request everyone who can contribute in any way to this effort to be a part of it. Don't ever come back saying, I'm just a housewife. No, that's not on, because you are Lakshmi still. So please sign up for it. You will definitely be those people who think they are just housewives. Probably they are going to be the connectors in this whole effort, because they are going to be able to spare the time to bring together the people who seek the knowledge and who have the knowledge. Women, when we work with women, someone had a query, why are the women separate? The women are not separate. We are just too good to be in the rest of the crowd. So, we better be kept separate, or we are going to, thank you, we are going to chew them up. So, frankly, we are better off separate, and we are better off encouraging our lot. Thank you so much. I invite Akila ji to speak to us about how we can go ahead and give shape to our dreams. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Sujata ji, for that. Am I audible? Okay. Good evening, and thank you, Sujata ji, for that very kind introduction. My short speech today will be under 3 heads. Okay, in the first part, we'll see how we prepare ourselves for the journey of our journey into entrepreneurship. Okay. Volume. Okay. So, better, no? So, in the first part, we'll see how we'll prepare ourselves for the journey of entrepreneurship. And in the second part, we'll see how we build our business and get the stuff rolling. And on the third part, we'll see how we achieve our larger vision and how do we create a larger good in that process of us achieving our vision. So this is the agenda. So now, when we think about starting a business, first we get the feeling, well, let's finish our MBA, then a couple of years of work experience, and then we'll start our business. It sounds as if you get into entrepreneurship when your learning phase ends, but it's not exactly that. With my experience, I'm saying entrepreneurship is the start of a more rigorous learning phase. Seriously, every day is a new learning, and you have too many lessons to learn. And what is even more important, there is so much of an information overload that sometimes it becomes a task to differentiate your lessons from opinions and things. So entrepreneur, before we start our business, I think we should set our mind to this. It's a stage where we'll start to learn more rigorously. And number 2, building a business is just like raising a child. It's a long-term commitment. So we should prepare ourselves to be in the race for a long run. And more importantly, as a new business comes into our life, a lot of other aspects of our life will have to sort of adjust itself. Whenever we find solutions, it's better. We find solutions that will work in the long run so that we don't deal with the same problem again and again. Number 3, see, entrepreneurship in some way is a journey of finding ourselves. So we should make sure that we do not lose ourselves in the process. That definition, holding on to the definition is very important. There are certain things which will define us, like our value systems, our standards of ethics. We should make sure we do not compromise any of those just for the sake of business. At the same time, there are certain things which are very important to us, like our health, our interests, our hobbies, and our peace of mind. So we should also make sure we don't trade them off a lot for the sake of a success in business. And the last part, when it comes to our mindset, is that you will never find a billionaire who will say, well, my very first idea worked, my very first design worked. Everything goes through a lot of iterations. The success comes really last. So there'll be a lot of small failures. There's a big win, definitely. But before that, there'll be a lot of small ups and downs, a lot of small failures. And none of these failures should be allowed to deter us from our focus. So with this, I think when we have this sort of a mindset, I think we'll be good enough to get our business running, to start our business, sorry. And When it comes to building our business, actually each business is different. I cannot tell you a particular framework and say this is how you should build a business. But what we can say is there are certain aspects that are common to all the businesses. And in my opinion, any business, we should start frugal and stay frugal. And please don't misinterpret frugality for cheapness or compromise on quality. No, not that. Frugality is about being very cautious with money. Do not spend even a penny when it is not necessary to be spent, because that itself gives you a lot of peace of mind. You don't have to run behind a particular number just for the sake of that number. Number two, like I said earlier, the first casualty in the war is the plan. So whichever plan, whatever the design it is going to fail. True. But the point is, we have to adapt. Sometimes it so takes even a few years to get our design perfect, and it's just overnight we can replicate the design replicate the design in a larger scale. So it's important that we adapt and implement the changes very quickly. The time is money here. So that is one. And three, we cannot do anything all alone. Generally, we need to have some stakeholders who work with us. But make sure they're all your value partners, very importantly. People who come into your business at any point of time should definitely bring in some tangible value to your business. Otherwise, it's just like increasing the denominator, which will divide our revenue, nothing more. And so the last thing, when we say about revenues in businesses, it's not the founder who takes the entire revenue home. The revenue is divided amongst multiple stakeholders like our suppliers, vendors, our employees, the government for supplying our public utility, everything. So it's a share of pie that we work for. But at the same time, we need to have a larger share. In this process, it's not about removing a number of stakeholders and restricting the business. The focus is always to enhance the pie. Instead of dividing 100 by 10, we can divide 500 by 20, right? So it's all about, the ultimatum of any business idea is to enhance the basic pie that we have designed. With this, I come to the third section. I think this is the most important part of the speech today. So when your business is functional, when your product is out there and you have clients, the next stage is only to grow. So in order to grow, people say, increase your number of stakeholders, increase your suppliers, increase the number of employees, and increase the number of clients. The process of doing this is generally called networking. But there is another approach to this. You become a part of a system where the system will help you grow. At the same time, in that process of helping its elements grow, the system will also enrich itself. That is called an ecosystem. An ecosystem is basically a set of entities which are seemingly independent of each other, but they directly or indirectly help one another grow, nurture you, and in the process of nurturing us, the system it also enriches itself. So while being a part of such an ecosystem, what happens primarily is that, first of all, we get an access, unlimited access to a huge set of suppliers and prospective clients. The first problem is solved when it comes to growth. And naturally, we are also open to a talent pool which we can associate with. But apart from this, there is one more, which is that it is probably from this pool you might find your next value partner, probably your next investor, or probably the next investment also. We do not know. So, and the other thing, it is like you are always in touch with someone who has walked a similar path like us, but probably one step ahead they are. So their experiences are our education, and our experiences become educations to youngsters who start after us. So this is about this ecosystem. And I say our success as entrepreneurs is imperative. It's very important. Not because it helps us build our brand, it helps us build our identity, it makes us financially more sound, not just because of all that. It is more important because entrepreneurs are people who can create wealth in the society. And that is very noble. So it is our duty for us to grow and help people to grow together with us. With this word, I take leave. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Akila ji. As an entrepreneur, I resonate many of the things that you said. We have done that. I have walked that path that you just now defined. Thank you very much for that guidance. We naturally good multitaskers. I mean, like Pritika ji said in her inaugural address, we have done so much to settle our homes before we came here. In fact, I don't know how many of you noticed. I think all of you all would have noticed that little beauty crawling there. And her mother here on stage, Nitika ji, who was multitasking, playing mother role as well as participating in the forum. So us at it naturally. Just one bit that we need to be very aware of and conscious when we want to take our stand as an economic entity in the society is financial literacy. Our next speaker for the day, Priya Subbaraman ji, herself a stalwart achiever, will be speaking to us about financial literacy and its various components that are relevant to us women when we get into enterprise, or otherwise also many of these points are very relevant to us. Priya Subbaraman ji is the co-founder of Dhiraa Skilldev Foundation. She is the co-founder there, which is committed to inclusive development. It aims to empower individuals with essential skills they need to succeed in today's ever-evolving business landscape. The program focuses on two critical aspects: financial literacy and skilling. Priya ji was a Chief Regulatory Officer at National Stock Exchange of India Limited. She has more than 25 years of experience in Bharatiya and global financial institutions, including stock exchanges, investment and commercial bank, and securities houses. Over to Priya ji and let's all learn a little bit about financial literacy over the next 10 minutes. Thank you.
This is what we will talk about today. Good evening, everyone, and it's an honor to be invited here. Thank you so much. Is this better? This is what we will talk about, but first, let me talk about what I mean by Bharatiya Decade. What we have started talking about is not decade. We have been talking about Bharat as a decade because it has been all the changes that have happened in the past few years, which have put Bharat on the map in terms of our ability, and the respect that we have now been getting from a lot of people has been because of our tech, because of the technology. We always had technologists, right? We always had, from the time we've been saving the world from Y2K, we've had technology and very strong technologists. But what is the difference? What has happened, which makes me call this the decade, is because just look at the numbers on the right-hand side. The kind of influence that we can make on the world is really the numbers on the right-hand side. We've got 493 million smartphone users, many of them in social media. I've been talking to a few here. E-commerce users, and just think about one more aspect of us as people. When we adopt something, we adopt it wholeheartedly. So that number 493 would have literally started as 15 people and suddenly it's exploded. But that's just the way we are. I think we see that in our daily lives every single day. So, you know, my grandmother, she's no more living, but she would go on WhatsApp and start sending stuff, right? You know, it is not that we don't stay away from technology. We embrace it and imbibe it. I think that is something which we do well, and that is why, you know, the next few years or potentially longer than that will really be called the Bharat Decade. Also think about our demographics. We are hearing and reading about China, the fact that it stopped growing. It's in fact probably going to be one of the few countries that's going to have a negative growth. The demographic dividend that we are going to get, that we have had, and between 15 and 55, we have a huge demographic advantage, and we will be taking advantage of that advantage when we talk about Bharat, Bharat leading the world in the next few years. Now, why am I talking about that? I'm talking about Bharat Decade in the context of us as people progressing. And why should we progress? Because we also know that there is a lot of inequality in our country. It's not that we don't have just the rich people. We have a huge spectrum of people in India at various economic levels. And therefore, financial inclusion is a very important part of what the government wants to do. Financial inclusion and financial literacy is a part of financial inclusion. If you just go here and read the slide. Financial inclusion is a key priority, and why do we do financial inclusion? Financial inclusion will actually increase the income and wealth of everybody, and financial literacy and skill development is part of that. We're probably one of the few people. I'm going to move from Lakshmi to Saraswati because the name of the company that I've co-founded is actually a combination of two words, Dheer and Ira. Ira is goddess Saraswati, and Dheer is wise. So we really hope to make that difference. So, just setting the foundation. With Saraswati will potentially come Lakshmi. So what is the ecosystem? I think Akila ji said it very well. She spoke about the ecosystem. She spoke about people actually, helping each other. This is our ecosystem. I think we've got the wrong slide, but nevertheless, what my slide would have said is really a whole ecosystem which speaks about local NGOs, social impact companies. We have entrepreneurs on one side. We have microfinance institutions, trusted service providers, banks, insurance companies, mutual funds, etc., who all come together, and then the sum of parts is real. The whole is really much more than the sum of parts. So that is what we talk about the ecosystem. What we talk about is the fact that when each one helps the other, it's like a cycle, and there is a multiplier effect at the end of the cycle. So that's what we're talking about when we think about ecosystem. And the theme of this particular session is about sustainable goals. When we look at financial literacy, when we look at skill development, we are actually hitting a lot of the sustainable goals, SDGs as they are called. And for us, it is, Sujata ji spoke about it. We've experienced it. Hindus, by definition, just because in our families, we've always been taught sustainability. Just about everybody's old clothes have become pocha. Isn't it? We used to always get our oil in a can. It was never plastic. It used to always be brown paper bags. But we've moved, and we've become, if you will, westernized and cultured now. But just making a point about the ecosystem and the fact that sustainable goals were already almost always part of our lifestyle. It's just that it's being documented in a different way at this point. Now, financial goals. Now, whether you are an individual or whether you are a business owner, what you need to know is certainly a couple of things for both sides. So one side is financial goals and planning, budgeting for individuals. It also applies to you as a business owner. And on the right-hand side, what I have is really for an enterprise, what do you need to know? The speakers before me have already said that. You need to absolutely know about your investments. You need to be frugal. You certainly cannot splash cash. That is not the way to build a business. The only billionaire that I know, and I worked for a little more than 9 years for Mr. Kotak, Mr. Uday Kotak, who's the richest banker globally. When I last checked the Kotak Mahindra Bank share price, he had about $16 billion. But he was as frugal as they come. Every single rupee, he would know how it was being spent. He would know the numbers. He didn't need to know it because Kotak had become Kotak many, many years ago. It's not today's story. However, you need to know, whether you're a small business owner, whether you're a large business owner, you certainly need to know your numbers. You need to know what are your cash flows. You need to know from whom you're getting the money, and I will talk about certain red flags in a bit. But the point being that And I will talk about one example here. One of my best friends is a doctor. She's an obstetrician, and she brings life into the world. She has delivered children when the mothers were nearly dying. She does that level of, complexity in terms of, and when you have lives at your in your hands, clearly you're going to be a lot more nervous than filling a form for insurance. Nevertheless, when she talks to me about, and I tell her that buy term insurance, don't buy money back whole life just because somebody is selling it to you, her first reaction and answer is, I don't understand all of this. Arey bhai, you're doing so much more. Why don't you understand all of this? These are fairly simple. So part of what Dhiraa wants to do and why I'm here today is really to talk to everybody about, and in your own way, and there are many, many materials. It's not just one or the other, and most materials will tell you pretty much the same thing. How should you manage your budget? How should you, when you're setting up a business, what is it that you need to be careful about? What is debt management? Who should you go to? Who shouldn't you go to? And what is the basic cares that you need to take? Now, 5 things which I really want everybody to remember. It's on the right-hand side, time value of money. The rupee today is not, it will not have the same value tomorrow. Inflation will eat it up. Risk and return. If you are going to be in a high-risk business, or rather the reverse, if you want a lot of high returns, you will necessarily have to take risk, which is substantial and material. Capital, you must know the cost. You can't just take debt on without understanding the cost. Each debt that you add will be more expensive because you would have taken a debt already, and the next debt that somebody gives you will almost invariably be more expensive. And you must know your numbers. I'm just going to talk about 3 things, and I will run through these 3 slides. These are for the women entrepreneurs and anybody who's not an entrepreneur who wants to become an entrepreneur. The Government of India, as part of its outreach, has set up 3 different things, which are very, very critical for all of you to understand. One is GEM, Government E-Marketplace. The buyer is the government. The seller can be any of us. And at this point of time, they have already sold 200 lakhs worth of goods just this 1 year. So therefore, think about the seller side, right? It could be any of us. There are 11,000 products that are listed there. Any of us can actually look at providing, and there are services also listed there. You can try and look at those. And these are where the system is already set up. So the technology is set up, the base is set up, everything is set up. So you can actually, it's far easier to approach, look at that 11,000, 12,000 odd products, see if you fit anywhere there. The government has actually taken a whole lot of steps to make GEM a success. GEM also has something called Womania. This is for women entrepreneurs. 2 more I will talk about in 30 seconds, ONDC and OCEN. I would really like people to put this into your head. ONDC and OCEN are revolutionary products, platforms, and APIs. They do not exist anywhere in the world. ONDC is not an app. ONDC is a platform. You can actually buy stuff through your Paytm, through ONDC. It's almost 20% cheaper. You can actually buy pizza on ONDC by going through your Paytm app. OCEN is again a platform where buyers and financiers and borrowers can come together. You will not get cheated there. It's from the Government of India. It is a platform which they're providing for people to come in. So typically, I think I have more tech-savvy colleagues here. They will tell you what APIs are. But these are platforms which the government has built for specifically small entrepreneurs, anybody who has those ambitions. I would really encourage you to understand what OCEN is and what ONDC is, and certainly what GEM is. I'm going to take 1 more minute. I have not been shown, but I will take 1 more minute. These are the things which you need to do when you're running your business. I want to talk about the last slide, so I should go to that slide. But one thing, please do not commingle your personal funds with your business funds. It's very easy to do that. I'm a new entrepreneur too, after about 30 years of service. My first thing which comes to my mind is to take out my credit card and pay for it, even if it's a business expense. That's not to be done. It's very automatic for us. But be very careful about your finances. Stay on top of your cash flows. Do not mingle your business money with your own money. It is very natural to do that, but please be careful. This slide is where I want to talk about. loan apps, predatory loan apps. Today, if you go and see the newspaper, the RBI Deputy Governor has been warning everybody that there are very many loan apps which come to us which said that if you want 5 lakhs, you've been approved for 5 lakhs, 5 lakhs will come at 36%. If somebody is going to approach you, run after you to give money, one of two things is true. Either you don't need it or it's going to be very expensive. So we need to, so there are certain red flags. The same is true of investments as also. People will promise you 36%, 24% investment. Such things are not available. Our country, and as benchmarked by Nifty, because that's my previous employer, as benchmarked by Nifty is about 12 to 13%. Our country is growing at that rate. You cannot possibly grow at 36 and 38 on a consistent basis. You will have some years when that will happen, but that will not happen consistently. So if somebody is going to give you all sorts of, what should I say, temptation, I think my request from everybody would be please avoid the temptation, be smart, approach financial service providers and approach registered financial service providers to manage your money or to run your business. They will tell you what is the right way. I'm just going to say thank you, Nandri, Abhar.
Thank you very much, Priya ji. As our first step towards mentorship that we proposed through the HWEN platform, we had our two speakers today, Akila ji and Priya ji, speaking to us about women in entrepreneurship, generally in entrepreneurship. What are the most important points that you look out for? What are the pitfalls? How do you work? How do you strategize? And as I said for Akila ji, I will repeat for Priya ji. So many things that she said resonate with us, and as an empowered woman, as a Nari and as a Shakti, I have my husband in the audience here. He is my co-founder. We were both in tears because these are things that we have done. We have been there, we have done that. And as I said, as first step towards mentorship, we have introduced to you these two beautiful, achieving women who will be a part of our HWEN platform and will continue to help us and guide us through. Next on, I invite, okay, now here's a twist to this session. We are going to have you do a small task for us. We have planned a workshop around the proposed idea of HWEN to start you through the workshop, to make you understand what it is and what the expectations are, and to take the process and to take the proceedings of this session further. We have now with us Nikita Sharma. Nikita Sharma ji is a Director Innovation and Growth Advisory at KPMG New Zealand. She's a director there. She holds a BSc from the University of South Pacific and MBA from the University of Auckland. She's a General Secretary of the Hindu Council of New Zealand. Nikita ji has previously held various senior leadership roles with government and universities in New Zealand and United Kingdom. As a volunteer, she has led organization of multiple community events in New Zealand, UK, and USA. Nitika, I'm so sorry. Look at what I did. I'm nervous. I'm very sorry. Nitika ji is an avid traveler with a keen interest in heritage tourism. Now, I could get kicked for this because Nitika ji is one of the founders, along with Pritika ji and others, literally the people who pushed and brought the dreams of the Hindu Women's Conference to happening to this extent. They have been the ones who've been running it for the last over 12, 15 years. And she is also one of the very active members of the Vishwa Hindu Parishad, always, for a long time now. Over to you, Nitika ji.
Thank you so much, Sujata ji. Can I have the clicker, please? Great. Namaste, everyone. Thank you very much for still being with us with your full attention. Really appreciate it. What we'll do is we're very aware that we're running a bit late. So if you're looking at the schedules, the program schedules, and you're looking at your watches and thinking we're quite behind, what we'll do is we'll try and make up some of the time in this workshop. I had 40 minutes to do this, but what we can do, and I appreciate that one of the things that we're asking is some of the questions. So the thing that we're talking about is the Hindu Women's Entrepreneurial Network. For a lot of us, who've registered, we got the email about what it is. And if you're like me, you received 10 emails from WHC Registration Committee, you might not have opened it. So that's okay. And so that's why the shortened time is perhaps good for us, because then we can go away and think about it. And then give us that feedback of what you think is a good way forward and what you'd like to see out of the network. That's what this whole session was about. And sometimes the best ideas come when we've had the chance to sleep on it. And not all of us are extroverts and want to dominate and have our ideas heard straight away, because we like to percolate and think about it. So hence, the shortened time, like I've said before, might be to our advantage. So what we're trying to do is, Sujata ji talked a little bit about what the Hindu Women's Entrepreneur Network will be about. And there are 3 goals for it. So the 3 goals, as you can see in front of you, is that it's a platform for peer-to-peer support. It's a peer-to-peer support network. All the good things that Akila ji and Priya ji were just talking to us about, particularly around if you're thinking of starting a business, then where do you go? Who do you talk to? And I know there's a number of us sitting in this room who are going, I'm never going to start my business. This is really not for me. However, when I look in the room, I see your leaders in your countries and where you're coming from. You're heading organizations, you're part of organizations where people come to you for these, to talk about these things. You are the safe ear or the safe person that they're coming to and saying, Didi, who do I go talk to about this? Or they come and say to you, Ma, I need some help. Please send me in the right direction. So this is what it's trying to do. So if you're sitting there thinking it's not for me, actually it is for you. It is not going to particularly, not personally, but the organizations, your communities, your societies that you go back to, your samaj will definitely benefit from what we learn here today and what this network will become. You can tap into this at a local, regional, global level. If nothing else, the financial literacy piece that Priya ji was talking about, sometimes we have to support communities to understand what budgeting is, to understand how to manage finances. A millennial getting married doesn't understand what does it mean to pay mortgage, to do this, to run a family. I'm not generalizing about all millennials, sorry. Not a general statement. But sometimes you don't, because you've never been in that situation. You've always lived at home, so you don't know how to do all of that because your parents were doing that. So that's the financial literacy piece that we sometimes need to provide for that group as well. The second objective of the network is integration of micro and rural enterprises. So this will start focused on Bharat. This is the second point is not a global focus. This will have just a Bharat focus of how the rural and micro enterprises can advance women across Bharat, particularly people who would benefit from this for themselves and for the society. And then the third objective is empowering economic growth through volunteering. In Western countries, we talk a lot about the third sector, which is volunteering, and all of us here today, we're here today for the volunteering that we do. So it's empowering women through the contribution in volunteering. It's quantifying how we're actually contributing to the society. We're making lives better through our volunteering, through the community work that we do. So those are the 3 objectives. What we're keen to hear about is, what do you think about this peer support network? So it's a very open-ended question, and I know there will be lots and lots of opinions out there, but if 1 or 2 perhaps suggestions that people do want to say something that if we haven't encompassed it in our objectives just yet, then it'll be really good to hear from you about it. We have a mic runner. what I'll do is, if you have a question, if you have a suggestion, not a question, sorry, this is an open-ended, I'm looking for answers here. So if you, Arushiji will come to you. Arushiji, I'll tell you who to go to. So really keen to hear about any thoughts, any initial thoughts on what I've just spoken about. Arushiji, there's a hand up here on the fourth row. Oh, sorry, looks like we ran out of battery on, oh no, does it not turn off? Okay, so just so that the thought processes are keeping to go, the next question I have is, how would you see the Hindu Women's Entrepreneurial Network working in your city, your region, and your country? So that's my second question for you. And then the third is, in what capacity would you be able to contribute to running the network, to setting it up, or even just providing a platform or being the contact person for your country or for your region? So those are my three questions. I'll go back to question one, because we did have a contribution there in the room. So yeah, would you? No, Arushish is there. I was just going to suggest we.
Thank you so much. I'm Nidhi Gandhi and I'm Bangkok based. So being an entrepreneur, I feel it's our prime duty towards women equality to move in hand with each other. And what is my know-how, my contribution? I should educate and help my peers to get a better know-how about it. And as we feel, the more we share, the more we contribute, the more we learn by ourselves. So I believe this is a very good peer support. It can become a very good peer support network. And we should have timely, like we have got such good speakers who have rendered very good informations. Many things were very new to me. We can have monthly sessions where the whole knowledge impartment should be provided, how we can grow economically, financially, mentally, educatively, like that. Thank you so much.
That's a very brilliant suggestion. Thank you very much. I'm guessing note takers are making a note of it. If we don't have your name, then we'll definitely make sure that we capture your name so that we can talk about Thailand and how it grows in Bangkok, particularly. We've got another suggestion at the back. Arushji.
Hi, namaste.
Namaste.
I'm Rajni. So I feel with this peer support network, I look at it as a safe space. Because there are a lot of women who don't have a courage. Man mein hai, kuch karna hai, but they don't have that sort of inspiration, that motivation, that push, that they have to come out, be a voice, and contribute, right? So I feel like if we get into a sort of support where we are getting a kind of a mentoring program, where we are mentoring each other with each specific skills we have, so maybe we can contribute into this peer support network in a more effective way. Like the skill which I'm good at, I can mentor rest of the women, So like if someone is from IT, someone is from finance,
Yeah.
so yeah, we can empower others with that skills.
Great. No, that sounds brilliant. Arushiji, fourth row from the front here on the right. Did we capture the name?
So my name is Monica Arora, and I'm the national convener for GIA, Group of Intellectuals and Academicians. My question is, we have about 300 lawyers, professors, retired vice chancellors, police officials, all women. in our group. Now, what is the vision, the mission, kind of objectives of this entire group you're talking about, so that we can understand how we all can join in and contribute? So all of us here are not only individuals, we are groups in our own rights also. Yes, thank you.
Gee, the whole idea about this is to support. So as Sujata ji has just put up the objectives. I know it was talked about in the beginning, but what it is it's about opportunity for women, specifically, particularly around that. It's the common platform, like you said. It's a common platform. It's to support women in a safe space with the Hindu mindset. You have a lot of other networks. You have a lot of other support groups and all of the other things that you can join in when you're in Western countries or even in Bharat. But the Hindu values and the Hindu mindset through which you achieve something, where you support each other and provide that opportunity to grow so that all of us are growing, that's what the primary objective of this is, to make the Hinduness the center of everything that we do through this network, through the peer-to-peer, the learning, the growing everyone, creating equal wealth for everyone that's around. So that's what it's about. Have I at least started to answer your question? See. Yes, definitely. So as I think Sujata ji mentioned at the beginning, so this is the fourth time the Hindu Women's Forum is meeting at a global scale, and every time there has been a call to do something like this. But then to say that we'll just launch this and not have heard from everyone of what they'd like to do, particularly at a global level. So that's what we're using this opportunity to actually hear from everyone who's present here, to try and capture as much as we can, to then go back and say, actually, the people who were present there, either on the day or when they went back to their own countries, don't really want this. They want something else. So instead of creating this, let's do something different. Or let's morph what everyone's asking for. So that's the whole purpose of this. So that's why all your opinions and all your thoughts really count. I see that Pritika ji has been distributing the form, the physical form of, if you're interested in volunteering or just your thoughts around what you'd like to see, please feel free to fill that in for us today and give it to us. Or when you go back, find that email which has the link, and please tell us what you'd like to see from this.
My request would be, because the internet is choppy in the complex, it kind of comes and goes. So if you can put your name and email on the paper that we have distributed, we'll go to old school 70s method. Then at least we know whom to contact, rather than sending out spam emails to 500 people. So if you put your name and email and pass the papers to the left of the table, then we'll just collect it later.
Yeah, that's all right. What I'll do is, as I said, I might not go through. So the next question was, how would you see this network working in your country? And then the last question was, how would you like to contribute? But what I'll do is I'll just refer to what the forms that you've got. Oh, gee, please, yes. Arushiji, there's a suggestion there. We'll take that.
I just wanted to say that this very idea, it's more related to women who are entrepreneurs or who are into business. So I think that we have mooted it here on a small group, with a small group. It should be, in fact, if we have to launch it properly, it should go at the wider platform, the bigger one in a plenary or there where everybody is present, because the economic forum is a better place than the women one, because most of us, in fact, are women who are associated with, who are in the field of education, media, and other fields. I think this is not the proper platform, I'm sorry. I mean, economic forum is a better place.
I was just going to say, Sujata ji would definitely have something to add to this.
Yeah. So, Prerna ji, thanks for that input. We are very honored by that. Pritika ji and me are very honored. Actually speaking, the idea for this came at the Hindu Economic Forum meeting in Udupi in May last year. So what happened at that meeting was that we realized that, as someone rightly mentioned, women are more comfortable with women. There are many people at the rural, at the micro level, where many of them had come to that conference. Many of them were spoken about at that conference. If suppose there's a woman out there whose income could greatly increase if she got just one sewing machine, she's not going to ask that to a man. Whereas if there's a woman she can ask it to, she will 100% go and ask for help. So that was the reason why this group was, why this idea was mooted in the women's conference. If it's successful enough and if it's gaining enough traction, believe me, we will be the next runners of the Hindu Economic Conference. Definitely we will get there. I hope we get there. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I will take one, Arushiji, one over here in front here. Yeah, I'll take this one.
Namaste. I actually would like to respond to this comment and to your point, your question at the same time. You know, there's a foundation called TIE, which many people in the entrepreneurial community know well. I actually know the founders of that quite well. And I think we can do something very fantastic in the women's circle, specifically for Hindu women, equivalent to TIE. So one thing I would like to volunteer is, I actually think the Women's Forum is a perfect place to discuss this. So we have people who are of legal background, I'm in medicine, biotech, research, all these areas. We all know very high-functioning Hindu women in the entrepreneurial sphere in our fields. So we should volunteer those names to you, perhaps also be a conduit, because we all prefer to work with groups that are doing, none of us has time to waste, as you know, on useless efforts. So I think we can all help link each other in some of these. So please reach out on issues in the biotech sector. I'll connect you. I think, for example, we should have some very high-level women who want to tap into this and be part of something more than giving keynote speeches and such. And I think Kiran Majumdar Shah is one woman. She's definitely very interested in doing this. So we can connect such people into this network.
Thank you so much for that. This is exactly the sort of stuff that we're particularly after here today. So if you could, like Pritika ji said, if you could definitely fill your name and your email address, then we're not spamming everyone who's attended the World Hindu Congress, and we're reaching out to the targeted people and getting the right information that we need to progress this. Sorry, I'm going to actually go to someone who had their hand up way much earlier. The lady here in the next to the purple. Here, no, the third one here. No, behind you, Arushiji. Yeah. No. Behind you. Yeah, sorry. I'm trying not to say colors of clothes. That was my one mission, to not say colors of clothes, but I might have to resort to that. Sorry. Please.
Yeah, thank you so much. I was actually looking for something like this platform, because I feel the women are exactly what Sujata ji said, that women are not comfortable to talk to everybody, but they feel comfortable when they see the woman actually. So what I would suggest is, we have experienced women in different kinds of fields, and getting into entrepreneurship, there is various things that needs to be taken care, right? It's not about just finding out the idea, but there's some other aspects to that, like considering the law, what needs to be followed with respect to all the different kinds of products and all. So I feel if we can bring in all those experienced people who are already there in that field and get their guidance in whatever way they can provide it, so it will be good actually to go forward.
Great, brilliant.
Yeah. And also for the new entrepreneurs, if they want some guidance, like, okay, if I have an idea, what is the next step that I need to go, right? So it's good if we have a step-by-step guidance for a person to move forward, because if I'm coming into a business, I don't know what exactly I need to do, and I'll be like all over the places. Rather, if I have a guidance and I know how to go it, based on the experienced people, I think it will be easy for me to follow the path actually. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. This is one of the key things, right? It's learning from each other in a very safe space. Sometimes what happens is a lot of the other communities say, we don't want to interact with anyone else because they don't understand us. They don't come from that same point of view. So, Arushiji, 1 minute. I want people to respond to this question perhaps now, just so that I've taken 1 or 2 responses for this as well. If you're actually thinking that you will be willing to contribute and you see this, how you see this happening in your region, that's what I'm particularly after, because we're global, and if we don't talk about at least a part of that, we're all going to go away from here and not have talked about how it works around the world. So if the response is to that, great. That Arushaji behind you. Yes, thank you.
Hi, I'm Devli Sehgal this side. My concern was just this: we talk global, we talk big, but you know, the local needs to be addressed. So if you have an organization like she referred to TIE and the very popular BNI and other networks that float around, which can be divided into smaller chapters which are local, wherein not only the mentors are talking, but also the ones who have the real questions, you know, on how to grow and how to just make that first step, can reach out. Because I feel every voice needs to be heard, and have cross chapters, build it up, have sponsorship. There's so much that can be done with this Hindu network. And I'm so grateful to be attending my first conference here and being part of it. So thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. That's one of the main things, and that's why the last question of what capacity you'd like to contribute, because we'd like to find people from all of the countries that you're representing to say, hey, I put my hand up, whether it's me personally who volunteers or not, but just as we had, you will connect us to someone who will then drive it in your own countries or your regions. So if you could please make a note of that, and or put your hand up if you want to help us find people like that. So, Arushaji, could you just please take some names here? We won't take any more suggestions, but the names of the people who have their hands up, so that then we can move on to the next very special thing that we're here for. Just some names of the people who have their hand up. If you have a pen and paper, Simiji will take the names here. Thank you very much. I am going to stop there. I know we have lots of great suggestions and we would love to keep talking about this, but very conscious of time, because I know that there is a plenary session that we all are looking forward to hearing about in the evening, and we do want to have a little bit of a break in the middle so that we can actually free up a bit of brain capacity to take in what will happen in the evening. So I will stop the workshop, this workshop session now, and hand it over to Sujata ji. Please stay in the room because a very special thing is coming. Please remain seated. This is not the end of this session. I'll hand it back to Sujata ji for a very special thing.
Thank you so much, Nitika ji, for that wonderfully conducted session. As I said in the very beginning, we Hindu women are at the top in many places world over. And mentoring, supporting systems that we can provide can encourage people in more ways, like the experiences that I have had. Many people can learn lessons from it, and I may not even know about it. And I heard the words, the BNI, the other networks that are there. Our aim is to get there. Hopefully, we do get into a lot of, there is a Hindu business network that is being planned by the HEF, the Hindu Economic Forum. Once we have enough traction, we propose to add on the Hindu Women Entrepreneurial Network onto the HWEN app, and from there we can all start contributing, connecting with each other, and providing support to each other in all forms of profession and entrepreneurial information that we may have. It is not just for enterprise that we are proposing this. We are proposing this for professional support, for all kind of queries and all kind of information that Hindu women could be seeking. Thank you. Next on, we come to this very special part where I'm sure the whole room has now understood that the Hindu Women's Entrepreneurial Network is indeed a very special idea, and quite a lot of us are getting excited, happy, and are looking forward to enthusiastically joining this network. Next up, we invite on stage a very special woman, a very special lady. I'm sure most of you have heard of her, have used her products, have seen her in some of the channels, have also had the privilege of interacting with her. She is really a very inspiring, yet a very down-to-earth person. I'm speaking about none other than Chaya Nanjappa ji, the award-winning first-generation rural social entrepreneur who's a pride of many sites and many organizations in India, including the Khadi Commission. Her brands, Nectar Fresh and Naman, all of us would have come across. She's been recognized for her work with the tribal community, with the rural folk, with numerous national awards, including the CNBC Woman Entrepreneur and Woman Transforming India Award by Niti Aayog. She's been an invited speaker at Indian Science Congress and World Hindu Congress. And a preferred speaker for APO, Japan, and numerous other countries. She has, without doubt, traveled to many countries and is a very inspiring entrepreneur and an inspiring woman, as strong as they come. Put your hands together for Chaya Nanjappa ji.